All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit, back with another video. I want to comment on how the Democrats been acting since the RNC. They really are upset and outraged about Amber Rose speaking and a few other things. But what today I'm going to talk about is these so-called black Democrats, the so-called black liberals like Joy Reid, Roland Martin, Maxine Waters, Van Johnson, the whole Native podcast over there. These people who claim to be representatives of the black community are very disconnected from the communities that they say they represent. They are elitists. They have been elevated to positions by the Democratic Party so that they could keep us on that plantation, secure our votes, and make us their perpetual puppets and make the black women their perpetual guard dogs. Because when I'm going to show you a clip today, and you have to really pay attention to what they advocate. What are they really mad at? Why do they suffer from such Trump derangement syndrome? Why do they act as if they don't know that the Democratic Party is the party of slavery? It's the party of crime bills. It's the party of covert racism. They ignore these facts. They ignore these facts because what they have accepted was that they would be the gatekeepers and the overseers over the rest of the population. I guess because we're so dumb that we're easily manipulated, that we don't know that the borders are open and they're flooding our communities with illegal immigrants. We see it every day on the ground. All the road work that they're doing in Detroit, all you got to do is look and see who's doing it. Immigrants. They can't even speak the language or write English, but somehow they can get the jobs. Joe Biden is talking about how there's so many jobs in the city. That's a lie. Every time I go out or go to the grocery store or run across people I know, they're looking for employment. They're keeping the numbers low because he's cut the benefits of people seeking unemployment. And today, we got to tell the truth about these so-called black Democrats. They have betrayed the black community. They have sold out. When you look at the black preachers down there supporting Fannie Willis and the black preachers like Jamal Bryant and T.D. Jakes, they have really become an eyesore to the community. Their debauchery and the scandals and the schemes they come up with, but yet you still have older black people that follow them. You know what I mean? You have Little Rock Baptist Church sit on Woodward in Detroit, been draining money from the community for years, decades even. The whole community around it is almost destroyed while it's becoming a mega church because the Democratic Party has corrupted and infiltrated the black church under the guise of liberalism. Now you have black preachers won't speak out against abortion, black preachers that come out and support candidates on their side for benefits, 501c3 benefits. You have Haitians like Roland Martin who come out and talk crazy and talk down to black Americans because we don't want to be on a Democratic plantation. We heard Joe Biden call us super predators. We know that he created those crime bills. We know that he said that we would make racial jungles if we went to school with his kids. We heard him say, if you don't know who to vote for me, you ain't black. Now he done came out and said, I know what a black job is. It's vice president. Joe, he still thinks when he goes back in his mind that he's still hanging out with Strom Thurmond and the rest of the segregationists. And then he has the nerve to be senile and suffer from dementia. And the black community, well, I ain't gonna say the black community, I'm gonna say the black puppets of the Democratic Party want the very people who Joe Biden has tried to destroy his whole career. They want us to sympathize with him. They want us to feel like Trump is our enemy when Joe Biden has been an enemy to us his entire career. He lies more than anybody, and they call somebody a liar. You look at people like Joy Reid, first generation Americans. No, she's from Africa. Roland Martin's from Haiti. That's why they don't even want to accept the fact that there might be a reparations claim from foundational Black Americans. They are in those positions to totally mislead and aid in the destruction of the so-called Black community. Oh, and don't look at this shirt and think it say Black Lives Matter. It says Black Lives MAGA. Don't ever think that I was with that organizational group of weirdos who tried their best to destroy the nuclear family and the country with their leftist rhetoric. The video I want to show you today is about Van Jones. Van Jones, for some reason, he cries for Democrats. He literally cries. But today, he's going to show you exactly why intelligent Black people and Black Americans are abandoning the Democratic Party in groves. They are abandoning that dangerous, debaucherous, and evil plantation where you got an Indian woman saying she's Black. And the feminists, they're going to just say she's Black because the truth doesn't matter when they pushing an agenda. They talk about conservatives, but when it comes to pushing an agenda from the left, the truth and the facts don't even matter, even as it relates to religion. They say that they Christians, and you watch Joe Biden lie and say he was everything. He said he was raised Jewish. He said he was raised in the Black church. But really, we know that he was raised a poor racist that used politics to get into a position to where he can act against the people he looked down on, the people he felt were inferior. His mentors said and taught him that Black people were inferior. So all of a sudden, we supposed to think that he doesn't think like that no more? Really? See, they are so afraid of losing power. With the Democrats, it's all about power and money. So they want to demonize Trump and say that the people that support him is a cult. We ain't the one messing with children, trying to be involved in the gender re-identification of children. We ain't the ones that think abortion is the most important thing in our social dynamics. We ain't the one who create a flag where you can be anything LGBTQB, but every month or so there's another letter act. That's them. They the ones showing up on Epstein's list. They the ones with those jaded past. And they have a lot of Black Americans fooled because those are the slaves. Those are the ones who will betray their people for a benefit. If you give, those are the ones that they get $5 more than you broke. They just want to be in authority over somebody. But this Van Johnson clip I'm going to show you, pay attention to how the Democratic Party is so focused on Black Americans that it seems like they don't even try to get white votes or Asian votes, or what is this preoccupation with Black Americans? It's almost like we've become some fetish to the Democratic Party because the sycophants that they have working for them makes them think that we're all puppets and we're all willing slaves. Well, I'm gonna stop this commentary because I want you to see this clip, and I want you to see Van Jones, and I want you to see he has the mentality of the Black Democrat. It's for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act for Education Commentary and the First Amendment. Watch him. This is the mentality of the Black Democrat.
Table has said anything as offensive about Donald Trump as J.D. Vance has. But I do want to note one thing. Donald Trump was not threatened by everyone tonight. There were strong performances. There were some that were less strong. In about a month, we're going to see a Democratic convention where you're going to see young, rising talent, left, right, and center of the Democratic Party. And then you're going to see a president who's less popular than most of those people, who's able to perform less well. That, to me, is a big juxtaposition because people are watching, but they're watching for the big ticket item, which is the Donald Trump show. Yeah. That's where the Republican Party is. I think that's going to be a challenge for Democrats.
But Anderson, I want to bring it back to the voters. The voters are yearning for recognition for their daily plight. When you say that there isn't a crime issue in this country,
I didn't say that.
No, not you.
Yeah.
You mentioned crime is going down. Go to Washington, D.C. We're here in New York City. Go talk to people who live in impoverished areas or poor white areas and ask them about crime. Talk to those people about the economic instability that we have under the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration. Talk to those people about immigration. And it's not about demonizing immigrants, Van. I agree with you that immigrants come to the country assuming for a good life. But people want an ordered process. People want to make sure that their plight is addressed first before the plight of other people.
We didn't talk about an orderly process.
We
didn't talk about an orderly process. We called people rapists, murderers, and we said that they were bringing drugs here and killing people. That's not orderly. That's not about orderly process. We're not going to this discussion. We got to.
Now, I want you to see how Van Jones, so-called Black American, his whole defense is about defending immigrants, as if he doesn't even know that they're not only committing crime, they're squatting in homes, they're harassing people with panhandling, they undercutting the job market for people that look like him. But because he will defend Joe Biden and the Democratic Party to such an extent, it becomes ridiculous. I want you to see all of this.
And Trump was miserable hearing it. So all that stuff just did not work at all. But Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she was incredibly compelling to me. She told personal stories that landed. There's a sense of aggrievement, I think, that conservatives feel that liberal culture demeans them, attacks them, cancels them. She didn't use rhetoric. She told a personal story, and it was moving and it was powerful. I think having a Southern storyteller to bring that stuff home worked really, really well for them. So I think she gave the speech of the night. Obviously, the mother who lost her son to the stabbing, also very powerful. Two very powerful women telling stories, personal stories, that landed. But I have to say something. I felt very badly about the way that the immigrant community was portrayed. It is not.
Do you hear this Negro? Who, like, we supposed to be so sensitive to the needs of people who snuck into this country illegal. So sensitive to the needs of people who are coming into our communities with a disrespect of us and our property. Of course, they coming over here for a better way of life or for the American dream, but they can't come to our communities and make it a nightmare just because the Democratic Party say so. So this guy here, you're never going to hear him say anything that would elevate or support Black Americans. He is totally towing the company line on the Democratic plantation. Listen how he starts. He said the thing that upset him was how people referred to immigrants, as if we don't watch on the news what they're doing to New York and Chicago. It's almost like the Democrats are spinning some type of brainwashing narrative on their constituents, because what he's finna say is crazy. Listen to him.
True that immigrants are responsible for crime. Not only are they not more likely, they're much less likely to commit crime. People come here because they want to work, and they come here because they want a better life. They're often afraid of getting in trouble. And so if you want to know where the real trouble is coming from, it's coming from U.S.-born men who...
That's not what we're seeing. Didn't we see immigrants beating the hell out of a New York police officer? Didn't we see them riding mopeds and committing all kind of crimes, unaliving young women? Look who I'm finna bag this up just a little bit. I want you to see why the Democratic Party, that the black people in the Democratic Party cannot be trusted, period, by black Americans. Because watch what he's finna say. Listen to him. Let me start it back a little bit.
I felt very badly about the way that the immigrant community was portrayed. It is not true that immigrants are responsible for crime. Not only are they not more likely, they're much less likely to commit crime. People come here because they want to work, and they come here because they want a better life. They're often afraid of getting in trouble. And so if you want to know where the real trouble is coming from, it's coming from U.S.-born men who don't have high school, who have not finished high school. That's the real source of our challenges. And so to blame this group that's actually less responsible for crime.
So what he's basically saying is, it's not the immigrants, it's black men. He's talking about his own. He didn't say black men, but he said they don't have a high school diploma. He's dog whistling. But I'm here in Detroit, and you have cities like Highland Park where there's a whole city with no high school at all. In this Democratic ran city, this Democratic ran state. How can a city not even have a high school, and then you blame young men for not having a high school diploma when there is no high school? Period. They have to go to another city for high schools. And then other parts of Detroit, they've closed their high schools. But he blames his own people just to defend Joe Biden's policy. Listen to some more.
For all the crime, I think is unfair and is unwarranted. And lastly, I lost a friend to fentanyl. Fentanyl deaths went up under Obama. They went up under Trump. They're going up under Biden, because this is a very addictive, horrible substance that's killing Americans.
And what he won't say is that open border is allowing it to pass through freely. He won't say that. Van Jones is disgusting. You think Joy Reid, Whoopi Goldberg them is bad? This man here is a total traitor and a sellout. And you can't even say allegedly, but I will just for the algorithm. Allegedly. Listen what he's saying. He is towing the company line and making immigrants from Venezuela and the prisons and all that stuff over in them third world countries. He's making them seem like they're the best citizens, and he's making his own people seem like the criminal element. Listen to him.
In very, very large numbers. I don't blame President Obama or President Trump or President Biden. And I think to take the pain of people, I don't like people pimping funerals. To take the pain of people and say this is all Biden's fault, that's not true. This is a national crisis. We've got to get our arms around it. But to blame immigrants for those deaths, to blame Biden for those deaths, I just think is in poor form. And I just think it's not fair to a community that's actually doing a lot better when it comes to crime than most of us are. Scott Jennings, how do you see it?
I was
looking at Trump tonight and thinking, like the great P.D. Pablo, he was taking in requests on the request line, and he got everything he wanted tonight. Sarah Sanders, I agree with you.
Brilliant.
I mean, Lord have mercy. That would have made a bishop kick out a stained glass window, what she did.
They be so disconnected sometimes. He said the great P.D. Pablo. P.D. Pablo. I guess his speech writers and his people haven't told him that their P.D. Pablo is not considered great. Mediocre.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Delivery, message handling.
Yeah.
Haley and DeSantis hit their marks, delivered the product they needed to deliver. Disagree with you on DeSantis, but you're not the audience for that.
Fair enough.
But that convention hall was, and Republicans were. Rubio, good as always, delivers an inspirational sort of look at what the American story can be for different kinds of people. Baby Dog from West Virginia managed to come to the convention on a night that Kristi Noem was not there and avoided any kind of unfortunate interactions. But she stole the hearts of the whole convention tonight.
Puppy dog.
The everyday Americans did a good job. Look, the bottom line tonight is the RNC delivered hit after hit, and the entire thing was aimed at unity. And the party is unified, and it's functioning, and it's against the backdrop of an opposing party that is stuck with an unpopular incumbent who cannot find his way out of a wet paper sack right now. 2 nights of this convention are done. Both of them have been a success, and now we're going to hear from the candidates for the next 2 nights.
The unity message, though, I think a lot of people thought going into this was a unity of the country. You're talking about unity of the Republican Party.
It's a Republican Party convention.
Right.
It's a political
Unity for Trump. Unity in service of Trump. Unity in surrender to Trump. Unity in servile obedience to Trump. But not unity for the people in the country who felt insulted and left out by a lot of the stuff. Listen, if this is the unity you're talking about, it's a unity that scares me.
But can I just say quickly that I mean, the test I think you were laying out earlier in our conversation was, Trump can put this race away if he reaches out to the country and he displays unity. And you had, the DeSantis speech couldn't have been farther from an attempt to do that. I mean, that was like red meat, the most divisive kind of language. So I don't buy your own. I'm sorry,
last night you were saying that we got to start calling Trump Hitler again because J.D. Vance on the ticket. Now it's Ron DeSantis.
I said no such thing. Don't put words in my mouth. I absolutely did not.
Look, it's a political convention, and somebody's going to make a political speech. The thing that will matter is what Trump says Thursday. I'm hopeful. I hope I'm right. Maybe I won't be, but I hope I'm right. But so far, the political party is delivering a political convention.
And let's be clear, no one at this table has said anything as offensive about Donald Trump as J.D. Vance has. But I do want to note one thing. Donald Trump was not threatened by everyone tonight. There were strong performances. There were some that were less strong. In about a month, we're going to see a Democratic convention where you're going to see young, rising talent left, right, and center of the Democratic Party. And then you're going to see a president who's less popular than most of those people, who's able to perform less well. That, to me, is a big juxtaposition because people are watching, but they're watching for the big ticket item, which is the Donald Trump show. Yeah. That's where the Republican Party is. I think that's going to be a challenge for Democrats.
But Anderson, I want to bring it back to the voters. The voters are yearning for recognition for their daily plight. When you say that there isn't a crime issue in this country,
I didn't say that.
No, not you. You mentioned crime is going down. Go to Washington, D.C.
True.
We're here in New York City. Go talk to people who live in impoverished areas or poor white areas and ask them about crime. Talk to those people about the economic instability that we have under the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration. Talk to those people about immigration. And it's not about demonizing immigrants, Van. I agree with you that immigrants come to the country assuming for a good life. But people want an ordered process. People want to make sure that their plight is addressed first before the plight of other people.
We didn't talk about
That's
an orderly process.
we
didn't talk about an orderly process. We called people rapists, murderers, and we said that they were bringing drugs here and killing people. That's not orderly. That's not about
We got to take a break. Still.
$5. That's enough to make a difference in the
nigga band. Do you see how Van will defend immigration policies to no end, while he diminishes the real plight of Black Americans. And he's doing it in your face. You almost have to look side-eyed at a Black person who's on the Democratic plantation. They're following the wickedness, the evil agenda of these people to the detriment of their own. He's telling Black Americans don't even have an inkling towards self-preservation, to welcome your competition, to live in danger to the point to where you're looking at a possibility of being extinct. Crime and drugs is so bad in our communities that it almost looks like genocide. And I'm going to stop on that note. That's how bad it really is on the ground. I don't know what they're talking about. These two Black puppets. But they right there should show you that you should never trust a Black Democrat. Not a one, not a Maxine Waters, not none of them. They all have betrayed us for massa. Every one of them. Listen to how they talk. Well, this all for today. I don't know. I might do another podcast. But I'm as for now, I'm signing to you out of Detroit. This is Detroit's HPTV. Support Detroit's Black Thought and Action Collective, the nonprofit out of Detroit. As always, salute to all the patriots. Don't get it twisted. Just say Black Lives Matter, not matters. You know what I'm saying? Not that organization of weirdos, to say the least, allegedly, that ran off with all that money. You know, that was burning down our own communities, and the whole thing was destroying the nuclear family. You know, and I don't got nothing against lesbians, but I'm not going to follow a movement that's ran by them. That's all I'm saying. You know, I guess they're good people. I don't know them personally, but this situation is bad. How they think that Black people are a monolith, like we think like slaves, and then they say that MAGA is a cult. Y'all the ones in the cult over there on the Democratic Party. Y'all are the ones lying and repeating the rhetoric of y'all boss, no matter how ridiculous it sounds. The immigrants are the problem. They're not bringing fentanyl. They're doing everything that criminals do. Signing out of Detroit. Salute to all patriots. Keep y'all head on the swivel. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.